All right, guys. Just get everything set up really quick. Gonna get a couple things ready while I pull this up, and we're going to be going over this. So, what's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. I know not many people might not be here. I am live right now. I'm gonna link the stream in the Discord so you guys can come join that as well, just so you guys could see it. Pull this up. I hope everybody so far is having a good day. I'm gonna just do a little quick stream just because I'm like low-key a little bored. It's not gonna be long. I'm kind of gonna just be going over my model and mostly what I'm doing for that and kind of how I came about doing it for the most part. So that's basically what I'm going to be focusing on this stream. And so pretty much, guys, if you look at this, Republicans at 219, Democrats at 216. These are all the states I've done the model for so far. And if you look here, the first state is Wisconsin. And Trump, after all the votes have been tallied up, is leading by about almost 5 points. He's on the brink of leading it by 5 for the most part. And that's just because, with turnout and things like that, he's going to be able to turn out some white working class voters. I actually even posted if we actually go look, I actually posted a post about this. And if we go over here, this was the county map that I actually got from the model. And if we compare it to the 2021, you could see that he does similar up here. Dunn County is a little bit more Republican. Clare is a little bit closer. He manages to make Vernon a likely Republican county, and all these basically go red for the most part. Sauk actually becomes slightly less Democratic. Door County ends up flipping to Trump. Trump ends up nearly getting that. Green is lean Democrat. I think here it's a little bit closer. He's able to make these a little bit more Republican, actually. They look about the same as here. And this county basically becomes safe R. So it's not a big difference. I actually think the only county flip on this whole map is actually Door County. I think that is the one county that actually ends up flipping. So I guess based off of these metrics, you could say roughly, so to speak, that Trump is probably Door County is a significant, bellwether in the state. If this ends up being correct, obviously, if this does end up being mostly correct, and Door County does flip to Trump, then more than likely he's going to be able to pull it off. So that's the key thing about that. So that puts the state at a 4.9 percentage point victory, almost a likely margin. If we go to the next state, which is Arizona, the model for some reason has Trump winning it by 13 points. Now, it may be that the error adjustment average is really high. Like, if I were to delete this, his victory goes down to like 3 points. So, I'm not 100% sure. And if I were to do it this way, where it does it by individual county, then he's leading by 7. So it really depends on how you look at it, but it seems like it's on the higher lean/likely territory at this point in time, which I know sounds crazy that he could even be leading by over 5 points, but He's leading in the RCP aggregate by 4.5. In the RCP aggregate last time, underestimated him just a tad bit. So if it were to underestimate him by the same amount it did in 2020, he would fall right into the 5 point category margin in the state. And so you could say it's a likely margin of victory. He wins Maricopa by 4 here. Um, so that's pretty interesting. So he wins Maricopa by 4. Santa Cruz goes down to like an 8 point win, which over here, Santa Cruz was a 35 point margin of victory. So it's like a completely different electorate. If we can go to like Apache County, I think it's called, Biden won it by 33. Now he's only leading by 24. I don't know how you pronounce that, but Biden won it by 24 there. He's only ahead by 18 here. And in Graham County, for example, that's like a big, Republican county. It goes from being plus 44 to like plus 83, which is like a big difference. So be cautious with the model because it's probably not going to be 100% accurate, but I've at least designed this in a way to where you have to go back to the 20 election, and I basically put in all the stats that would have been there on election day in 2020 and basically geared the model to give me the most accurate result that it could have out of the state. So that's basically what I'm looking at there. The next state is Nevada, which actually has Trump winning by 5 points. So he's up by 5. The polling and all the trends and everything I have involved may be reflective of Hispanic trends. That may be the case. It may just be that Hispanic trends are so, excessive, I kind of got out for a second, but the trends may be so strong for Trump that it might just be that the Hispanic trends might just be so strong for Trump that he probably is maybe performing that good in a place like Arizona or Nevada. The next state is Michigan, which is actually very competitive. It's only a 0.7% margin of victory for Donald Trump. He only wins it by a tilt margin, actually, while Arizona's 13 points Republican on this map, which I don't think it's going to be that big. Now, I'm not going to lie, Nevada plus 5 is not super unrealistic if there's a big Hispanic shift there. I think Trump actually is winning Washoe and barely losing Clark on this map. He's barely losing both. So that's interesting. So he's barely losing. He's winning Washoe, but he's losing Clark by like a point. And Biden won Clark County by 9 points. So that's like an 8 point shift, and that's where most of the state's electorate's from. So that's probably why he's doing that well there. If we were to go to Michigan, Trump, barely winning there. And it really comes down to him improving in some of like the city areas. For example, Oakland, Biden's winning it by 11 points. If you look at Oakland here, it's a 14-point victory for Biden. If we were to find like, let's say, Wayne County, so Biden's winning it by 38, he's only winning it by 34. If we were to find like that county, Biden's winning it by about 46%. Where would that be? I think it's this one. He's only leading it by 43. So it's the little shifts in the big city areas that causes the state to go more Republican. Even like Grand Traverse, which I don't know where that would be exactly. Let's look for like a likely Republican county or like a lean Republican county. You see Trump won it by 3 points in 2020, and now he's projected to win it by 5 points. I think I saw it here. Yeah, he's projected to win it at exactly a 5-point margin. Even like Genesee, which is typically a pretty Democratic county, if I can find it here, is a 9.3% victory for Biden. Now it's a 5.7 margin of victory for Biden. Even Saginaw County, I think, should be a flip for Trump. I think he should be flipping it on this map. He's winning it by 3.4%. Muskegon should also be flipping for him too. He's winning that by about 3 points as well. And it was a tilt margin of victory for Biden. So it's those improvements in some of the rural areas that really caused him to do a lot better. Even like Eaton County, was tilt Trump, but right now it should be pretty Republican. For the most part, he should be winning it by close to 5 at this point. Yeah, see, he's winning it by 3.7%. So all those tilt counties are basically lean margins of victory for Trump. Even in Marquette, I think he actually does a little bit better there too. If we were to go, Biden's only leading it by 8 points, so that's also the thing too. Like that's the thing. It's a very big, just these little shifts. Trump has made insane progress. Damn. Also, what's up, guys? Everybody in the chat. Guys, we are at 16 viewers. Let's get the like count up as high as possible. Let's get the like count up to like 16. Let's do it. Now we got 17 people. I want the likes to match the views. And since there's like not as many people here this time, anybody who's in here, at least try to get it a little bit more up. But we keep going. This is Trump's closest state on here. We were to keep going in Georgia. He's up here by 3.5 points. For some reason, the model doesn't think he's going to win it by a likely margin, even though Arizona and Nevada are likely, which is, I guess it makes sense, because if Trump is not really improving with African Americans to the extent that people think he is, but he's doing way better with Hispanics, then this map would actually make sense. And maybe my model is picking up on that. Maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah, that is true, James. I think that Arizona's going to be gone for Republicans in like the next 10 years or so. I don't think Republicans are going to be able to win it unless the Republican candidate is like exceptionally good. The only way they'll win it is on the presidential level. That'll be the only way that they'd be able to win the state. So here he wins it by 3.5, and I think it's because if we look at Cobb County, for example, we go all the way up here. Biden is leading by 12 points there. He's leading by 12, and it was a 14-point win. So he's not really underperforming that much. That's why the state is still a 3.5-point victory. Even if we go to like Fulton, for example, if we go over here, Biden's still leading by 43. And here he won it by 46. So it's a few couple of points. I mean, it still makes the difference, especially since Biden had won the state by so little. But mainly where Trump, I think, is gaining some support is some of these rural counties. I think this Washington County should flip on this model. I think it should be flipped. But yeah, see, Trump wins it by 3.4%. This county right here. And also, like Peach County, for example, should be touching like, let's see how big of a victory. It should be likely. Peach County should for sure be likely as well. So it's these little improvements. Yeah, see, it's a 9-point win for Trump. So there are these big shifts in some of these counties. Even like Summert County or whatever this is called, Biden's only winning it by like a point. He's only winning it by 1. If we could find like, let's look for another blue county like Jefferson. Let's look at that one. Jefferson is right here. Biden's only winning it by 2. So it's a much closer map. It's a more Republican version of the state, basically. It's a much closer map, and it's a little bit redder. And some of these counties get a little bit closer. I think Michigan votes to the right of Pennsylvania as of now. I mean, I don't know. Trends say otherwise, but you never know. It could. It could possibly do that. The next state I have on here is North Carolina, which is characterized as an 11-point win for Trump according to the model, which I think that's a pretty big overestimation. Like, if he was winning the state by 11 points, Robinson wouldn't even have to worry about the governor's race. He'd basically have that on lock if he was really winning it by 11, which I don't think he is, but that's what the model's showing right now. But we'll see. We'll keep going. The next state I have on here is the state of Pennsylvania, which has Trump winning it by actually a lean margin. He's actually up here by like 1.4%. And if you look at this, right, for example, if we go to like, let's look at a county like Montgomery, he's down by 6 points in Montgomery, Whereas before, Biden was up by 26 points in Montgomery. So that's a really big shift. Oh, well, never mind. Actually, that's not his lead. This is his lead. So he's up by 24. Biden was up by 26 in the last election. If we were to go to like Chester, if we find Chester County, which is right over here, Biden's ahead by 15. In the last election, he led by 17. So there's like a little bit of a shift in the counties. There's a slight shift in some of these city populated areas, and that kind of helps Trump really gain in the state. Even in Philadelphia, if we were to go there, I think that he's probably going to be doing a lot better. On this map, he's losing it by 60, whereas here he was losing it by 63. So those little vote shifts make a slight difference. Erie County, I'll actually look for that, my friend. Biden is losing it by a point, so he's ahead in the county by like a point basically. I might actually put this on a county map so everybody could see this, because I did do it for Wisconsin. So maybe we'll just be here filling out the map as of right now. But if we were to go here, basically all the counties that are safe red are pretty much gonna go safe red anyways. I know Erie is lean, so we're gonna just be filling this out. I believe that like I'm gonna say Allegheny County is probably, it may be likely actually. So let's look for it first. It's still an 18-point win for Biden, so it's still safe. The entire middle of the state's going to be safe anyway. I'm doing it based off of actual margins and not like, the way that, what is it called? The way that New York Times does it, which they have a way different scale. I could do it like that, but that'd be a lot of work. Maybe in the future I'll do it that way. But for now, I'm just using like the plus 15 margins because they have it as like, I think like 60 is like, they have like 60 as safe, and then they have like 30 as likely, and then they have like 10 or like 15 as lean or some crap like this. Like they have like a really crazy like margin scale. Like if I were to go over here, I don't know what's going on here. Oh, okay, it's just the scale looks really bizarre. But like the county, right? You see like they have something like this. It's like it maybe it's not 60 because that's not what it looks like on New York Times, but maybe it's like this is what makes more sense. This is what I think they have as their margin map. They do it like this. This is how they do it. I think they have it's something like this on their map. This is the margin scale that they use. Because even if you look at the New York Times result, you'll look at Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look, you see? Look, all of this is likely red. They have Beaver as lean, even though it's not. Their margin scale is way different, you see? It's probably not. I'm probably still slightly off on the margin scale, but you could see it kind of matches what I'm talking about. It kind of is matching what I'm talking about for the most part. They have a way different scale when they do it. And so that's why it looks a little funky. But for now, I'm using the 15, 10, 5 margins. That's literally all I'm using because, no. And so I'm just using the, oh, bruh. There we go. So now we're back to normal. And so now with Biden filling out this map, if we look for Central County right now, if we go over here, Biden is only leading there by 2 points, and he won it by 4.8. So it's these small shifts in the state that are causing it to be, a little bit closer than before. If we were to fill this out, we keep going. That's the end of the state right there. These are still going to be deep blue counties. They're not really going to change in terms of their, color. I think even Bucks County is still practically the same. Yeah, Bucks is still a 2.5-point win for Biden. So it's safe to say these are probably still going to be lean. Unless, yeah, that for sure is going to, what the? that this is still gonna probably be likely for Biden. This county, Lehigh County, I guess that's what it's called. Yeah, it's still likely for Biden. So he's still winning it by a likely margin. Probably Lackawanna and Monroe. Maybe Monroe, he actually maybe narrows it up. I'll go check it here really quick. Monroe, he's actually right below the likely margin there. So I was right. He does shift it. And Northampton, I think, goes lean Republican on this map. We could check it right here. Yeah, it's exactly a point Republican on this map. And then here, these basically just go Republican themselves. And then you have these last two counties with Dauphin County, which I think is going to go, according to the model, goes to Biden by 7. And then this county, which is Cumberland County, Trump, I think, is winning it by, let's see how much he's winning it by, 11. So he's winning it by 11. So this is what the county map basically looks like. According to the model, he basically flips Northampton and he flips Erie. Those are the only county flips. Hey, I don't agree with all your political beliefs, but I admire your passion and your hard work. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, actually. Be nice to get Minnesota for President Trump. This is insane. Do you think Trump gets the Teamsters union endorsement? I don't know if he's going to get that. Didn't he, like, not get that endorsement or something like that? I don't know. I don't think he got it, though. So yeah, that's basically what that looked like. North Carolina, I'm actually curious to see what that county map looks like because he's winning the state by like 11 points, which is a huge win. That's like a big victory in North Carolina. So I'm like low-key curious to see what would that even look like on like a county map. Like what would that even look like as like an 11-point win? It's kind of insane, to be honest. That's pretty crazy. It seems like all of these counties would basically go Republican. What is the last one? I think that's the last county in North Carolina. Yeah, it's these. Those are the last ones. I'm just gonna start filling this out. I think I got the right. Yeah, I think I got it. Yeah, okay. So all the counties that are red, I'm basically gonna fill them out. This should still, well, maybe that's not likely. Maybe this is not safe. It could be a lot closer actually. Right here. Yeah, look, it goes to like a 12-point margin of victory. It's like a 12-point win. So that's pretty insane. That's a big difference there. Jackson, he probably is winning that by like a safe margin too. Let's find it here. Yeah, look, he's up there by 21 points. So he's clearly doing a lot better on this map. Like he's doing significantly better. Yeah, look, he even flipped that county. So even a bunch of like likely Democratic counties, he, wow, that's insane. So then now we can just kind of fill all this out. Kind of closing in. All these likely red counties, those are for sure going red. There's no way. Those are going safe red for sure. This probably flips. That probably flips to Trump. This county probably flips to him. These would go red. This would go safe red. And then like Mecklenburg, I think he probably does better in. Yeah, he's still only winning it by 26, but it's a big difference. It's like an 11. It's basically an 11-point shift statewide. Basically, that's really all it is. It's like an 11-point shift. He did not get the endorsement of the UWA, even though the CEO just admitted the majority members were backing Trump. Yeah, that's what I thought happened. I thought he didn't get the endorsement, but he just got. Just curious, does your model factor trends before 2016? It does, because what I had to do is I had to create the state model for the 2020 election, and that involves the 2012 numbers as well as the vote amounts, and then it basically ends up correcting itself to the 2020 margin, which Trump did win it by 1.26. That's the exact margin he won it by. So I'm literally going off a model that is corrected to be accurate to the last election to then use it on this one, because there'd be no point in using this one if I can't show you like, hey, I at least tried to link it to some sort of reliance or accuracy. Like that's the problem. And then like Mecklenburg, is that's still safe. Like that's gonna be a safe county. Like these, for example, like see Orange and Durham, these are gonna be safe. Though those are still gonna be safe counties. For example, this is gonna be red. That's gonna be red. These are gonna be all red basically. Even this might fall into a likely category, and this is probably gonna go lean. To be honest, there's a pretty big shift in the state, it seems. So I think I'm gonna be characterizing it as such. That's probably gonna fall under a couple points too. We could even check actually. So that county is Chatham County. So we go over here. Where is it? Right here. He's only winning it by 1.8. He's literally up by 1.8 in the state, and he was up by 11 here in Foyser. I don't even know how to pronounce that. That seems very strange, but he's up by 4.5. So, Mr. Beautiful, we're going to need every vote that we get. Oh, okay, okay. We don't need any more non-Trump supporters. What does that mean? Wake, I think he's gonna do better here. Let's go down to where that would be Wake County. He's still winning it by like a safe margin. So it seems to be like a 10-point shift in all the counties basically. There's like a 10. Like see that Cumberland County in North Carolina is probably gonna narrow up. That's definitely falling in the lean category. These are all gonna be safe in my opinion. He probably ends up winning New Hanover by like a likely margin now. He's probably up. Yeah, look, I was right. He's winning it by like a likely margin now. That completely shifted. These are completely gone into the Republican column. Like those are 100% going red. That's going likely Republican for sure. These are all going to be safe. Hyde, he's that's for sure gonna be likely Republican, including this, these. That's gonna be safe for sure. That's not even a question. He probably wins Martin County. He's probably up here by like a safe margin actually. Martin, he was right about the 5-point margin. Yeah, look, I was right. Yeah, he's literally barely in a safe category there. Pitt, he probably ends up flipping Pitt County. Let me see. Yeah, look, he barely flips it by 0.3%. He barely flips Pitt County. This is going to be likely 100%. And now we're getting into some of these, like, more, Republican or these more Democratic counties. That's going likely for sure. These are going to go safe according to the model. And Edgecombe, I wonder how that much is going to, I wonder how much that one's going to shift. It's still 16 points according to the model. He's still winning it by 16. This is falling under safe. That's falling under safe. He might even flip. He might even almost get Washington County, actually. Let's actually look at that. Oh, look, he did. He got it. He got it by like a point. So he wins that by a point. So he flips that. Birdie Hartford, I think he probably still wins it by a safe margin. He probably still wins it by like a safe margin, but it's definitely closer. We could look at it. Hartford. It's still safe. Like it's still a safe county. And actually, he's winning it. Biden's actually doing better there than the last election. It seems like that's probably like a left trending county. He's doing better here than he's doing in the last election, which is interesting. Bertie County, he's winning it by 11. So, okay, I was right about that. Edgecombe, I think he's still winning it by like a safe margin, I think. Probably, yeah. I already looked at that. Northampton, he's winning it by 9. Northampton, he's winning it by 9. Halifax, he's probably winning it by a likely margin. And these is probably going to fall under likely. So this is what the map is looking like in North Carolina. So Trump does significantly better in North Carolina, like way better. Like look at that. If you compare this map to this map, it's a big difference. It's a huge difference. Trump is doing a lot better on this map than the previous one. He's doing significantly better on this one. There's a lot of likely and safe, there's a lot of lean and likely, counties for Trump that end up going safe here. So he's doing a lot better here, like way better. Pennsylvania, I kind of already went over that. Minnesota was the new one I did. I actually released a video on this one. He is actually losing by 5 points here. Trump is currently down by 5 points according to my model, which again, I don't know if it's because the trends, like since there was third-party votes in 2016, and then like the shift was so big that the algorithm or the model thinks that the trends were so big, like maybe it's that, like I don't know. But it's still right above the lean category. Like it's almost under lean. It's like barely above 5 points. So it could easily fall under that point. Like if Trump ends up falling in the aggregate by like 1 or something like that or whatever. And then like if the aggregate in Minnesota it doesn't change and then like Trump starts leading the aggregate by like 2 again. So he leads there by like what am I thinking of? He leads there by 6.5. Like if that's the case, it literally is about to fall under the category. It would fall right under lean. So it's not like it's entirely impossible for him to not win it in the lean category. But at the same time, it is a big stretch for him to be kind of, it is still a pretty big stretch. I also think Don Davis loses North Carolina's 1st district. I think he probably is. I believe El Paso will be the Miami-Dade of 2020. I can see Trump getting around 40% of the vote in that county. Do you have a model for Texas? I don't have a model for Texas, but I could do one. I was thinking of doing one for Florida next. As of right now, those are all the models that I have, and these are the characterizations of the states. I'm expecting Trump in the model to probably do really good in Florida. I think he's going to be close to winning it by 15, or probably even more than that in the model. I mean, if he's winning Arizona by 13 points according to the model, he's probably going to win Florida by over 15. I'm curious to see what Colorado ends up looking like. I may do one for Colorado just because the trends in Colorado were so bad. I might actually do one for Colorado, but I don't know. Doing one for Nebraska and Maine is going to be hard because, like, I don't know what counties are in the districts and, like, how you would be able to track that, like, individually in a Google spreadsheet. So, possible Minnesota flip. I don't think it flips, but I definitely think it could be a sleeper. I think it could be a lot closer than people are thinking. I currently have it as a lean state when I characterize it, but that's just my personal opinion. Again, Arizona, a 13-point win in Arizona, that's not going to happen. I don't know why the model is inflating it, unless really Trump is doing that good with Hispanics to the point where he really is winning it by 10, which at that point, I don't even know what to say. That would be insane. If he's really winning Arizona by that range, that'd be crazy because then it's like we were literally freaking out for nothing. Hot take: Colorado will be more Democrat than Illinois this year. I think that's true. I think it is going to be a lot closer this time. I may do models for like Colorado, New Mexico, Illinois, Virginia. I may do some just because. So according to the Arizona model, then Kerry Lake. I mean, if Trump is winning Arizona by 13, Kerry Lake should be winning the Senate seat by like 7 or 8 points. Like, yeah, there's no way. Reno or like Vegas and Reno, Trump is doing pretty good there. He is currently, I'm gonna pull it up. He is losing in Washoe by, or actually, I think I'm looking at the wrong. Oh yeah, I was looking at the wrong thing. He's winning Washoe by 2. So really, if I were to put this on a county map, it would be really easy. It would not be hard to put this on a county map at all, because there's not that many counties here, and it would just be really simple and straightforward. Because that would end up being safe. So literally, the entire thing is just this. So he's actually winning Washoe, and he's down in Clark by like a point. So that's literally what it looks like right now. That's Nevada. That's literally what Nevada looks like. That's literally what Nevada looks like right now. So he's doing pretty good in Nevada, I'd say. Um, Kind of curious to see what this would look like with everything filled out. Do the results on Wikipedia get tracked by county? Because if it does, that'd be a lot easier. That'd be way easier if that was the case. It's just gonna be hard to track the results in Nebraska second and like the first district and doing all the math. Like I don't know. I think I might just kind of play it by ear when I do those kind of states. Like looking at the margin, I might just be like, okay, is Maine's first gonna go? Like I think I might just do it to where I have the margin of the state and then I'll kind of eyeball it on the districts because I think that's gonna be really hard to set up. Um, Minnesota, I'm kind of curious to see what that looks like in Michigan as well, but I'll probably tackle those at some point. But we'll see because I don't know. I gotta really see. Now the thing is that the way I have the model right now is that it basically averages it out. Like all of this percentage error, I live in Florida as of right now. And the thing is, all these percent errors give me an average error, which actually gives me an average error of 0% in Georgia, funny enough. And then it's added to like the state. But if I do it like F5, then it takes into account this margin instead, and then it does the correction for every county individually. But when I do that, I think Biden ends up winning by like 4 points in Georgia. He's ahead by 4 when I do it like that. And I can't really assume that Biden is going to improve. Like Cobb County says here that he's winning it by 30, and he only won Cobb by 14 in 2020. So that's kind of the problem with me doing it that way, because the error, because this is applied because of the fact, and actually, yeah, this error is applied because in order to get the 2020 result accurate, I had to take these numbers to get the result to be accurate to 2020. So it makes sense to apply it here, but the problem is that it kind of throws everything off because Biden's actually winning by 4 now, which I don't think he's going to get close to winning Georgia by 4. Like at most, he gets a point within Georgia, but there's no way he would ever even win it by 4. Even on like a good map, there's no way he ends up winning it by 4. There's no way that he would end up winning it by 4. So, I don't know. And even like Nevada, for example, if I were to do it this way, Trump does a lot better in Nevada. He does way better. I think he does way better here. Not way better, because maybe after I adjusted the model, but he does do a little bit better. That's for sure. Arizona, I think his lead significantly decreases when you do this. I think it's also because the average correction is so large. I think that might also be it too. You see his victory goes down to 7 points, which seems more realistic. Like that actually seems more realistic. LT be like blunt full lose Pennsylvania by 10 because some raw ran the poll. Wisconsin, on the other hand, if you were to do it, by the margin there, he ends up winning it by 4. So it's like a point difference when I change the methodology. And he's still winning Arizona. He's still winning Nevada, but he loses Georgia? Like, it doesn't make sense. It just straight up does not make any sense. And he loses. So then he wins all the other states by that much, but he loses Georgia by 4. And he's losing Michigan by a tilt margin, but losing Georgia by 4. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. It just does not. So that's why I'm doing it this way. It's just best to kind of average out all the errors and kind of have this. Thank you, True Blue. I appreciate it. Georgia, I already showed you guys. It ends up voting for him by like 4 if I do it that way. North Carolina is way closer. It's like way closer, I think, when you do it like this. Or maybe it's the other way around. Yeah, see, it's way closer. It ends up being like a 4-point win. Or almost 5, which actually seems more realistic. But I don't know. Like, again, I have no clue. Like, I'm just kind of going off as best as what I can. Like, you know. And then, like, Pennsylvania, funny enough, if I were to do the average there by this amount, so, like, you know, do F5, let's see what happens. Trump actually still wins. So it's actually funny because if I were to do the model the other way, he actually still wins. So if I were to do the model the other way, he's still winning Nevada by 5. Arizona's still likely. He still wins North Carolina. He's losing Georgia by 4, but is winning Pennsylvania, winning Wisconsin by 4, and still winning Pennsylvania, but losing Michigan. It's a super weird map. Like, it's super weird. Like, I don't even know how that happens. It's super bizarre, the way that ends up happening. It's super, super weird. And if you look at Minnesota, if I were to do the same thing here, like do an F5 or whatever, if I were to drag this down so you could see all of the error or whatever, if you were to drag this down, Minnesota ends up being a 9-point win for Biden. So if I were to not use the average, Arizona is a 7-point win for Trump. Nevada is a 5-point win. Wisconsin's a 4-point win. North Carolina's a 4-point win, but he loses Georgia by 4 and loses Minnesota by 9 and loses Michigan but wins Pennsylvania. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, this map, if this were to actually happen, I would literally have an aneurysm because this would make no sense. This would make no sense. Like, I just can't see how this would make sense. I don't even know. Like, I don't know how this would make sense. So, in my opinion, it was best to just kind of average out all of the error and then have like a universal error that gets applied to the state. And then that kind of, you know, offsets any potential error possibly that could happen. So that's how I'm looking at it. For the most part, Georgia actually doesn't need to correct itself. The average error, all of this ends up averaging up to 0 somehow. Like, when you add up all these and you divide it by how many counties there are, it literally ends up being exactly 0. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, guys, so that's basically it for this. I mean, I just kind of wanted to go over the model for like a little bit, kind of give you guys a more detailed explanation and like have you guys type and show you guys what you wanted to see. But I am going to go as of right now. So if you guys did enjoy this little quick stream, please hit the like button, subscribe, make sure to hit the post bell, follow the Twitter, and join the Discord in the description down below. I hope to see you guys very, very soon.